asked you on YouTube and my Discord what Power Rangers shows or themes do you want to see in the future reset. Now, the Power Rangers show has gone on a break for this so-called reset. A lot of people are theorizing what the Power Rangers shows and seasons will be like after it comes back. So I sent this question to you, and these are your replies for your future seasons. Let's see what everybody thinks. Anyway, enjoy! Leapin' J says, I think they should do their own take on insects. Perhaps mixed with vehicles. Think early King Oja rumors. To be honest, this is actually quite a nice idea. Imagine like insects, and when I think of insects, I think straight away to like superheroes like Ant-Man and Spider-Man. Like imagine the abilities that actual insect rangers can do. Like imagine growing in size, flying, strong like bugs, because apparently bugs can lift their own weight plus more. And also there's like elements of camouflage, that's cool. And there's so much about each individual insect that can lead to so much more. Like for example, with caterpillars turning into butterflies, that could be a rebirth. Imagine a death and they turn into a butterfly afterwards. That's just beautiful. Imagine like a Spider-Man. Yeah, okay. But seriously, but think about Spider-Man and the abilities that they have, like swinging from spider webs. What else? A dragonfly and its speed. A bee and its sting, or even a wasp when they have like a berserk mode. Oh, that'd be cool. And then a beetle and its strength. I think that's very, very obvious. Anyway, moving on to the next one. Also, this isn't just Power Rangers, this could also be Sentai seasons, so like, this could be good. Anyway, moving on. Missing Ace says, I think it would be cool if the characters got their powers early, but the show waited before making them into a team. Sort of like Don Brothers. Doc Hikari also says, or a season where the team slowly comes together, with the opening arc, say the first 4 to 5 episodes, being about that. Essentially like how Zenkaiger went about it. And then Muteki Fedora also added, what about a series where the team only starts with one member, and then by the final arc, we have a full team of 5 to 6. Sort of like a rider with a sole main character, but with supporting characters with secondary, tertiary rangers. So, kind of Don Brothers-esque with Zenkaiger and Riders smushed together. I kind of like it, honestly. Don Brothers-esque team where they take a while to be a team. Let's think Don Brothers then, how they all have different jobs in different sectors, slowly becoming one as friends. Almost like how Kyoryuger does it as well. Because they all have different jobs, don't they? And then they come together when they need to fight. This would add different dynamics and almost have a more casual vibe to it, which can be nice. And the idea of having a rider sort of look at the team is nice as well. But would it work? Possibly. Who am I to judge? But either way, could be interesting. Who would our main character be? Well, who knows? Could be a mysterious loner who gets attached accidentally to others shunned by humanity. Or an over-friendly person who looks to build a group to adventure with and finds friends to heal. To be honest, overall a wholesome time, let's just say that. Tayman215 says, I kind of want to see proper take on a mythological theme show like in Hyperforce. And then Who is Lorenzo also adds fairy tales. I can see titans or giants, werewolves, griffins, unicorns or pegasuses. Pegasuses? Yes. Centaurs, mermaids, dragons, and so much more. Each color with their own mythical creature or familiar. And that's not even considering the fairy tale element, like Beauty and the Beast, Alice in Wonderland, Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, Snow White, Hansel Gretel, Frog Prince, Goldilocks and the Three Bears, Rumpelstiltskin, Jack and the Beanstalk, Ugly Duckling, Puss in Boots, and the list goes on and on and on and on. The villains can be based on maybe the mythical creatures. Imagine all these suggestions as villains, or even rangers. Zero Angel 92 adds to this idea, saying, if the reset means original footage going forward, then something with knights and more European mythical creatures for monsters and Zords. Adding this idea to the mythical creatures and fairy tale idea, maybe even the rangers being knights having to deal with the mythical creatures. The mythical creatures could have escaped from a magical book or another dimension where the crack between our worlds collide. Could also travel and learn about other cultural mythical creatures, expanding cultures and countries and teaching more about others. To be honest, this idea could work. Mythical creatures and characters with knights to fight and save the day. Toei, Power Rangers, hit us up for these ideas! Now 3 people have mentioned how they want an animated season. Vidal says it would be cool to see something animated, like adapting the comic storylines in an animated format. Deoxy also says Power Rangers in the animated style of Voltron, Legendary Defenders, Castlevania, or Last Airbender / Korra. Ooh, I'm seeing an image here. And then this user says, I would love to see a toddler-friendly animated version of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That way I can more easily share my favorite show with my 2-year-old daughter. That's really sweet. Aww. All of this makes sense and I agree. An animated show would be awesome to see, especially if it's good to bring kids along for the ride. Even though the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was actually good for kids of the time, but also the idea of having a Power Rangers animated show like Last Airbender and Korra, hell yes. Hell yes. APN 8000 says, I think it'd be cool to do a season with Halloween monsters, red as a ghost, blue as a vampire, etc. Both of these ideas are amazing, but I really want to just look at this Halloween monsters idea. Like, imagine Frankenstein, zombies, skeletons, ghosts, vampires, pumpkins, werewolves, witches. Oh my! One episode could be Halloween and they can go out as they are because the world is in Halloween theme. Oh my god, that is a lovely, heartwarming episode. But other times it would be hard because obviously these characters would be Halloween themed and they would be judged. But could even have like a set like in Halloween Town? I don't know, we'll see. Ooh, I just had an idea for the villain faction. Imagine if they were hunters, like the witch hunters, ghost hunters, monster hunters, vampire hunters. So it's a reverse of the norm. Ooh, that's an interesting concept. LAP says, I would love an underwater themed show. You can have stuff relating to Atlantis or King Neptune or even Poseidon. Also, Who is Lorenzo, adding to the idea of deep sea. Now, I instantly think of Atlantis with Poseidon and the fishy friends, jellyfish and whales, rays and octopus. Octopuses? No. Anyway, I'm instantly also thinking tridents as the weapon choice, which would be so cool. Also, imagine if the Rangers were the kids of the king, like they were kids of King Neptune or Poseidon, like mermaid Rangers Ariel style, or even Rangers based on the different fish, like a crab ranger, octopus ranger, jellyfish ranger, seahorse ranger. There's so many mental images right now.
I thought about fish with human feet again.
It could even be the number of legs is equal to their status in the team. Ooh, or maybe even like a hippocampus touching on the mythological of under the sea as a ranger, or even as a source of travel. That would be cool. Or even fish who have been turned into humans due to the pollution in the sea could be the rangers. There's so many ideas flowing through my brain, I can't think. The villains could be the krakens, sharks, piranhas, what you consider dangerous creatures in the deep, as there are so many mysteries in the deep dark waters of the sea that nobody really knows is down there. Oh, and also I had an idea for the 6th ranger. It would be a seal ranger because it's different to the underwater fish, and I think a seal ranger would be fun. Just imagine it clapping. It's the character trait, it's just always clapping. But imagine the locations of bases and battles, such as Atlantis, inside a whale, even a sunken pirate ship. The opportunities are endless. Now, Mark says, I would love the concept of another Ranger versus Ranger series. I love this idea of a versus show, and would love to see one again after Lupin versus Lupat. An idea of my own that popped into my head with this suggestion was a masquerade or musketeer idea. The 3 musketeers sworn to protect the royals of one team, and then 3 royalty in disguise wishing for escape and adventure on the other side. It's giving me the 3 Musketeers Barbie movie vibes. But imagine the staging and design. Imagine the Ranger suits, almost very similar to Lupin Ranger design. I love this idea for some reason so much. But with a similar idea for a versus season, Vinsaker suggests past/future or alternate timeline/universe. I think it will be more interesting if the theme is used for a versus series like Lupin versus Pat Ranger. For example, the new Power Ranger team from the future came to the past to stop the new Power Ranger team because the future is ruined allegedly by the new Ranger team, either brainwashed or working with the evil organization of this new season. Honestly, love this concept. Something happens in the past to affect the future, so the future team goes back to help or fight them, leading to this versus show. But maybe their interference is what messes up the world in the first place without their knowing, and the real villain is who the future team trusted most and who sent them back. Imagine that conflict. You go back thinking that you're going to save everybody, but then it's your fault that things have gone wrong. Ooh. And I bet a way to save it is like they have to go back in time further before they even get to that moment to distract it so that it never happens. A paradox could happen. or even like an alternative universe in that kind of idea because they they've changed the feature. Oh my god, there's so much here. But another idea I just came up with from this idea is the idea of mirror dimensions. Each time they travel, something changes in the world around them. Maybe they encounter themselves in the different dimensions and they have to fix the world's problems before moving on to the next. Very Kamen Rider decade, but yeah. Doc Hikari says, would it be too nerdy to suggest D&D tropes or classes? Absolutely not. Imagine a dice system that you have to roll a dice for ultimate attacks and the funny moments when the dice rolls are ruined. Rangers can be a fighter, druid, monk, ranger, cleric, paladin, rogue, barbarian, etc. All with their own classes, telling us their weapons, abilities, and traits that lead to their characteristics and story arcs, even hinting to future events and fighting classic D&D monsters. Like, that would be so cool. Imagine their locations as well. Castles, caves, taverns, absolutely, and so many more. To be honest, I may be planning my own D&D adventure with this concept in mind, so bear with me. And with D&D in mind, Mark also suggests a Baldur's Gate 3 inspired Power Ranger game would be really hype. Honestly, absolutely. With the D&D classes also mentioned before, they have a lot to work with, so this is very possible. Doc Hikari mentioned again. Hikari's been doing a lot of suggestions for this, but I appreciate the passion for this. They say, do you think they'll cover more of what Aisha and Adam were up to during the events of Once and Always? To be honest, I hope they don't cover anything from before and do a total reset, which is, I think, the plan, so probably not. But continuing with your suggestion. I mean, another space travel season might not hurt. This I can get behind, a total space travel experience, visiting new worlds and maybe gaining members throughout the trip in space is what I kind of hoped that Cosmic Fury would be about, but oh well. Imagine they set off into space from a NASA liftoff in search of new life and fall into a black hole or something dramatic happens and they pop out in another part of the universe that has many worlds of intelligent life, starting with a team of 3 for minimum issues, and end up with a team full of different alien rangers from across the galaxy with different powers and abilities. That would be so cool. It could turn into like Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy? Power Rangers? Absolutely. There have been some amazing ideas suggested, so thank you to you guys. As I said before, Toei, Bandai, Power Rangers, if you want to talk ideas, we are your people. But I had a few ideas of my own, if I could go through those. Dragons! I mentioned dragons before, but imagine a theme about just dragons. Dragon teeth as swords, dragon familiars, dragon eggs. And the villains are knights themselves, so a reversal of what we mentioned before. Not necessarily how to train your dragon, but could be. Medieval Viking in design, different dragon species and colours as they discover more about dragons and their world. And just imagine the dragon-scaled armour. Oh, would be beautiful. Next theme I thought of was music. This might be what Boon Boonja is, but we'll see. In my head, it's all sorts of music, with each ranger being a different genre or instrument, like rock and roll, think of Hobie, classical, electric, jazz and blues, easily touching on different countries and their cultural music too, as they learn and appreciate it all. Like the hideout would be like a music shop or an orchestra group, or even like an events hall for performances. There could be a blind character or a deaf character as they discover the love for music and defy what society expects from them. The instruments could be their weapons, like imagine a guitar, drumsticks, that could add a lot of damage. Piano could be like sound waves. The different techniques and ideology of each instrument will lead to many differences in opinions and ideologies. But where the conflict of interest is where the interesting drama and developments happen. On to the next one. I don't know why this came up, but hear me out. An Alice in Wonderland theme. Firstly, just imagine the fashion of the civilian outfits. Imagine the weapons they could use. A teacup, maybe even an umbrella. Imagine the characters, Alice, the rabbit, the Mad Hatter, the Cheshire Cat, the Caterpillar, Tweedledum and Tweedledee. They could so easily be like the extra rangers. That would be so funny. The villains, of course, would be the Queen of Hearts and her card-based monsters, painting roses and the streets red. That got dark kind of quickly. But moving on, marionettes. Another theme I don't know where it came from, but hear me out. The story I was thinking of could be this. The main villain is a puppet master, taking over people's bodies or even making puppets that follow their command. but some of the people with pure hearts escape from their grasp to transform into puppet rangers or doll-like rangers who fight against their terror, as well as learning what it means to be alive and love the world and humanity. I guess I'm thinking of the Team Pinocchio puppets, as they wish to be a real boy.
Am I a real boy?
Nope.
And save... Anyway, moving on. And saving their own kin from the puppet master. Last couple now, I promise. A hospital theme, as doctors save patients by literally saving them, and their battles could even be inside the body or even outside, depending on the cause of death or illness, etc. Zombies could make a random appearance, but not too sure on that one. Could even be the villain faction, but I will leave that for the Halloween monster theme instead. Penultimate idea is something I suggested last time I did a video like this. A board game theme with chess, card games and more. The characters would be easy because there's royalty and all the card decks with Joker, King, Queen, the Jacks as well. The royalty in the game could lead to the Ranger hierarchy. The Queen would be the leader, let's be honest, and maybe both King and Queen being red and gold. Maybe there's like pairs of them. Like pairs as in snap? Oh my gosh. I think a lot comes from this idea, which is interesting to me, so let me know what you guys think. And for my final idea currently, it's aliens on Earth. I know this has come up many times before, but imagine a previous battle with an invasion happens and the aliens leave for good, as they have taken all they can from the planet, but leave behind aliens who now have to hide as humans. Because of all the bad blood, of course. Once bad things happen again and the humans are in risk, the aliens decide to set off to save the people with the alien powers and abilities that they have, eventually healing the world themselves. But their identities are revealed. Ooh, the drama, the conflict, and the heartache. But it would be so good. Anyway, these are all the suggestions and ideas that we've got so far, and I hope you like some of these ideas. Again, Bandai, Toei, Hasbro, you know. But for now, thanks for watching this video and catch you next time in the December video spam. Kezza Henshin, matane!